Temos que começar com isto, não é verdade? Isto, epá, foda-se. Então, pessoal, bora lá, vamos começar. 3, 2, 1. Well, hello guys, welcome back to the channel. And today, another week begins, and with it, I bring you the review of this week's fairy tale chapter 474 of its name in the moment of complete silence. This week's chapter begins with a little resume as to how the battle is doing in the various fronts. First, we have the North Point. We have Sabretooth versus Bradman and two other unknown Springans. On their way to join them, we have Gajil, Levy, Lysana, Mira Jane, and Healthman. So we can expect a pretty good battle in the upcoming chapters on this front. At the Eastern Front, we have the four wizard saints, Warad, Wolfheim, Iberian, and Durham, still, well, not really versus, but in the same place as August and Jacob of the Spring and 12, and Acknowledgia as well. And God Serena was really defeated, which to me continues to be a bummer and a big disappointment, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. In Magnolia, we have Makarov, Mavis, Natsu, Lucy, and the rest of Fairy Tail, of course, represented by the guild. In the Western Front, we have Zeref, Invel, and the remaining forces of the Alvarez Empire. And finally, in the South Front, in Argent, we have Laxus versus Vol, which ended last chapter with Laxus' victory. We have Urza and Kagura versus the Unknown Springen, which we know already that is Nyhart. And then we have Leon, Grey, and Juvia fighting against the bottom minions, and Wendy and Cheria versus Di Maria. So this was the cover. This is the update as how the battles are doing. So it's pretty cool to give us a cool resume on how things are proceeding. And the chapter begins in the central point of this whole battle, which is Magnolia in the Fairy Tales Guild. Natsu is still fainted, asleep, dead. Who knows? He's not dead. I'm just joking. And we see Lucy sleeping on his bed and Happy remembering what Zaref said. If you kill me, you'll cease to exist as well. And Happy plays the tough part and says that there has to be another way, and I won't stop believing that. I don't know. Because if Natsu truly is a demon created by Zaref, then I really don't see a chance unless they can cure him of his demonification, if that is even a possibility. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. It would be pretty bad for Natsu to die. I mean, he's one of the main characters of the series, so it would be strange. It's not strange in the manga world for main characters to die, but in Fairy Tail, it's a little weird. Still in the guild, we have this time an update by Warren on how the forces are doing. The West forces are not doing anything. He says that in the north things are a little bit stale on Sabretooth versus the Springen, but that might change with Gajil's forces arriving. And now we know that Jacob and the other guy, which I just said his name and I forgot already, from the Springen 12 that were near the Four Wizard Saints, they've managed to go through, which is not good. Two Springens heading towards the guild, it's not good. So which means that the Wizard Saints are completely incapacitated, because even in their state, they could have done something against them. So it's a little bit worrying, because neither the Wizard Saints stopped them, and neither did Acknowledgia. Acknowledgia is not focused on the Spring, and is focused on the Dragon Slayers. So it makes sense. Acknowledgia probably fled off to someplace else looking for Dragon Slayers. But the four Wizard Saints, even in their state, I believe that they should have been able to do something. Not much. I'm not saying that they could have defeated them in their state, but they could have halted their progress towards the guild. So that action is a little bit stale as well because we don't really know how they are. They must be in pretty bad shape to not be able to do something. And they sense the vanishing of Vol's signal. So they have the confirmation of the defeat of Vol, and they start celebrating, but it's not that it's not that easy. It's not a moment for celebration right now because they might have defeated one, they have one in custody, but they have two others moving on them. And they have Zeref and Ilvan on the east side. So Fairy Tail right now is literally closed from both left and right. North and south are kind of dealt with. They have forces in the south and in the north, but not on the east and west. And now the eastern and western forces can just move on in and engage them literally, which is not good. Makarov tries to seek advice from Mavis, but Mavis needs more time. And she says something very curious. For the sake of defeating Zaref, what I'm able to do is, and it stays like this. So what is it? I don't think it's the activation of one of the fairy magics. It's not fairy law. It's not the other one that Kana used on the Grand Magic Festival, which I don't remember the name. And I guess that the third magic is Luministwar. I don't know. There's like the three grand powers of Fairy Tail. We have Fairy Law, and we have it's Fairy Glitter. It's Fairy Glitter. I remember the name now. And I guess that the third one is Luministwar. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. So I guess it's not the activation of one of these three, because if it was that simple, then Makarov could have just unleashed Fairy Law already. Mavis could have given Fairy Glitter to Kana already, or more people even. So I don't think it's something that simple. Regarding Fairy Heart or Luministwar, I don't know. Being an infinite source of magic, I don't see how it can help in the current situation. However, if the battle drags on, I believe that it might be a great help. Because if the wizards exhaust their magical power, then Fairy Heart comes in place and it gives them a supply of magic. Whether it's renewable or not, it remains to be seen. But moving on, we go now to the southern front, to the battle to liberate Argent. We see Leon, Grey, Juvia fighting against the minions, and as Juvia is about to be cornered by two Alvarez soldiers members, someone arrives to the help, which is no other than Meredith from Crime Sorcerer. This was actually quite surprising. This page marks the beginning of the big surprise of this chapter, which is not only the appearance of Crime Sorcerer, but also of a member of Crime Sorcerer that I bet you that none of us saw coming, given her circumstances. And I'm already giving a bit of a spoiler here. You've read the chapter already, so it's not really a spoiler. And Leon gets caught by Meredith's cute looks. Maybe this time he'll stop going after Juvia and leave her for Grey, for Christ's sake. And the action cuts to Erza and Kagura as they come face to face with two of the four knights of the standard from Nainhard's squad. And they get all feisty. We won't let you go through, but they are already through and they get defeated quite quickly, in fact. Surprisingly quick. Which is a bit of a disappointment because, I mean, you guys are the four strongest members of a Springen 12 squad. that just shows either it shows how powerful Erz and Kagura are, or how weak Nineheart is. I guess we can't really speak for Nineheart regarding his strength for his subordinates, but I mean he's part of an organization that values power above anything else, and to have such weak members that fall against, they are indeed powerful wizards. I'm not saying otherwise. I just thought it was a little bad that they lose straight away. They could have given them battles against Gray, Leon, Meredy, and they could have had a little more of screen time. They seemed like cool guys and with cool magics. Maybe I don't know. It's just it felt kind of stupid just to have them and get defeated straight away. But it's Erz and Kagura. They are OP as balls, and so and coming from the sky come the two other four members, which are defeated by, my god, finally, Hiro Mashima remember how to draw Jalal. Yes, the day has come. Jalal Fernandez has appeared again in Fairy Tail, and what a way to come back by defeating single-handedly the two remaining members of the squad of the Standard. And he says, I don't need to hide anymore. My purpose, my sole purpose, is to defeat Zeref once and for all. And my friends, it goes without saying that a trio battle against Nineheart is about to happen. And my god, what a trio! Jalal, Kagura, and Erza versus Nineheart. Now my guess is, I don't know if they are going the three against him. I may be guessing that Erza and Kagura can tag team for a while because they are both swordsmen, and then they will get driven into a corner, and then Zerev, not Zerev, then Jalal will come and end the battle, thus saving the two damsels in distress. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe they'll just trio it in, or maybe Erza and Jalal will tag team and Kaguya is the one that gets driven into a corner. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. And then the action cuts back again, back to Wendy and Sheria versus Di Maria. And now we start to understand what her power is and how she could tear the clothes of people in the blink of an eye. It's a very interesting power, and I believe I'm not sure. I don't even remember my own video. That's cool. That I actually thought of this a few chapters back. Actually, last chapter when I commented on the next on this chapter's title, that the Maria's magic could have something to do with time, with stopping the time, and that's exactly what it is. She can stop time, literally. And now, and her magic is called Time Sealing Magic Age Seal. That's the name of the spell she used. So I guess it's Time Sealing Magic. It's the name of the magic. I don't know if it's a lost magic. She doesn't make any commentary on that, but I'm pretty sure that it might be a lost magic. But I don't know because there's someone that appears with a similar magic that indeed is a lost magic. And she just starts playing with Wendy with her face and telling how she could do everything to her, even rip her clothes. So that's how she did it. She stopped time to a point that no one would notice because we didn't know, and then the clothes would just appear ripped, and that's how it was. And now begins the end, supposedly, where she draws her sword, a pretty badass sword, if I do say so myself. And with a nice touch, au revoir, she starts swinging her sword towards Ennis, but in the last split of second, she jumps the sword, and they both kick Di Maria in the face, double kick to the face, paternal sky arrow and maternal sky arrow. A pretty good names. I don't know where they came from, if they have any mythical connotation, inspiration, or anything. I would have to do some research on that. I haven't had the time to do so, but I'll definitely do after this. And now we see who was behind the attack, who was behind freeing them from the time stop. And my God, how, how Ultear has come back. This is the gale of time. For your sins I shall bring down the hammer of justice upon you in the name of crime Sorcerer. The one who surpasses Dimari's world, Ultear, the wayfarer of time, will now hold the devil's advance. My God, what a mind blown. Ultear appeared. I was not expecting that. How? I mean, how did she? Because back at the magical festival, if you remember when the dragons escaped, she sacrificed herself by using the most powerful spell of the Arc of Time magic, the lost magic Arc of Time, which which would exchange the user's life for a certain amount of time based on the user's actions throughout his life. And because Zultear had lived a pretty messy life, she only managed to get them 1 minute, which was enough, but still. Now, how they call her Wayfarer of Time. In the first translation I've read, they literally called her Time Traveler. Now, given that her magic is a lost magic, I'm not cutting out the hypothesis that she can indeed travel through time. But the thing is, where did she travel from? Because being a time traveler, she could have obviously came from the future, but given her circumstances, the fact that she sacrificed herself at the end when the dragons attacked, I don't think that. But if she came from the past, then how could she have known that she would be needed, I guess, or that such a situation would arise that her powers would be of use, or that that situation in particular would happen? I have thought of another guess right now. After she used the magic, she was actually trapped in time. And the term wayfarer might mean that she was actually traveling between the veil of space and time. Not quite in the past, not quite in the present, and not quite on the future. She was just some way there. And what triggered her reappearance was the Maria's magic. There is indeed a flaw to this theory, because the crime sorcerer appearance seems too much of a coincidence to be accidental. It could be, but it seems too sudden and too well planned to be a coincidence. If she had appeared alone, this would be a totally valid theory. But as it stands, I admit it's not the best theory, because we've seen the old lady that was her. We've seen Meredy and Jalal crying for her when she died back then. What happened during the year that spanned between Tartarus arc and Alvarez arc that prompt Ultiar to come back? I guess that we'll get to know that in the next chapters. I'm not saying the next, but maybe the next. The next chapter is called Di Maria Chronos Yesta, which appears to be the full name of Di Maria. And as the title stands, I'm guessing that we'll see a confrontation between Di Maria and Ultear. And maybe with Wendy and Sherry helping. I don't know, maybe, probably. They are in fighting condition, so it's totally valid. And my God, this is what I have for you today. A very surprising chapter. I was very surprised when I read it. I've seen the spoilers before, not in great detail, but I've seen them. And they did indeed mention Ultiar, but I thought, well, maybe they will remember about her. Maybe the magic of the Maria being time magic, as I thought at the time. Maybe Wendy will remember. Well, there was a girl with the time power as well, so maybe I can do this and that. I was never expecting Ultiar's return. So well done, Hiro Mashima. You're bringing people back faster. Well, not faster, but a little bit faster than trying to put together the Dragon Balls. So yay, references. Um, Sorry, I just had to. I'm tired. I'm a little bit tired today, so forgive me. I know I might not have been as excited as I was today, but the chapter didn't really excite me. And so yeah, this is it for Fairy Tale this week. Very eager to see the next week's chapter and the ones that are going to be released in the coming weeks. And I hope you have enjoyed this review today. Um, Tomorrow I will bring you the review of the Seven Deadly Sins chapter. I'm going to record it right away. A very interesting chapter as well. And I hope you have enjoyed it. Once again, leave me your opinion on this chapter and my overall performance. The comment section is yours to use and abuse, as I'm sure you already know. So I say my goodbyes to you, and I see you soon.